Well, good evening and welcome. Uh, just a reminder before we get started, if you have a cell phone, now's a good time to silence it or turn it off. Uh, we also want to point out that there will be later on, probably after, will be after intermission, there are some loud sounds just to prepare you so nobody's caught off guard. The guns that we're using are replicas and will not fire. And so, anyway, sorry, but I know if I were a little watching, I would much prefer the real deal. But so anyway, also in your program there is a card. If you got an invitation this year, there's no need to fill out that card. We've got your information. But if you did not get an invitation and you would like to receive one, go ahead and fill that out so we can get you on our mailing list. And also in the program, it tells about our orchestra concert. We'll be doing Christmas music here next Sunday afternoon. So you're all welcome. All right. Well, here we go. See, I think the kids have been working really hard, and they want to share this with you. So thanks for coming out.
Sophia's on.
Study of laws. So where do we fit in? So where?
The markers of man's make and the word of it.
I did not know you were right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't want to stop you. Is that your poem for this afternoon?
Yeah. Boy, did you startle me.
Well, you knew I was coming.
Well, I didn't know you were lurking right behind me. That's nightmare material.
Oh, ouch.
Well, I mean, not you personally, just the lurking aspect.
I understand. So where would you like the blankets, Madam Poetess?
I think we're just gonna try to spread them out as much as we can, since we won't be able to lay the food out for a while. But we should probably wait since the grass is still damp.
Oh, okay. Good call. thy sight, storm flakes were scroll-leaved flowers. Lily showers, sweet heaven was a-strewn in them. 5, the finding and sake and cipher of suffering Christ. Mark, the mark is of man's make, and the word of it. I did not know you were right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't want to stop you. Is that your poem for this afternoon?
Yes. Why did you startle me?
Well, you knew I was coming.
Well, I didn't know you were lurking right behind me. That's nightmare material.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, well, I mean, not you personally, just the lurking aspect.
I understand. Well, where would you like the blankets, Madam Poetess?
I think we're just going to try to spread them out as much as we can, but we should probably wait since the grass is still damp.
Okay. Good call. So what can I help with?
I think decor is our first order of business since we won't be able to lay the food out for a while.
Okay.
What do you think about adding some bunting along the sides of the table?
Oh, that'll be swell. Yeah. Very proper for a picnic. Do you, have thumbtacks or something?
Oh, yes, you may have to dig.
Oh, speaking of food, did you manage the ice cream?
Oh, yes. Sam tasted it for me this morning, and it was all I could do to keep him from chugging down the whole batch.
Well, how did you have enough sugar?
Well, it was a challenge, but ever since we heard Sam was coming home, we've been mercilessly hoarding our ration stamps.
Your poor mother's probably been starving herself.
Well, she wanted Sam to have as many treats as possible while he was on leave. And, of course, his friend from training camp is staying with us as well, so, that's an extra mouth to feed.
Boy, you and your mom have it hard, since we all know male stomachs are never full.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So, how have you managed having company while trying to study for final exams?
Oh.
And, also running the college war board and the activities board and being class president and all that?
Well, Mom takes care of most of the company. The hardest part for me has just been how much I want to spend time with Sam and not being able to because of, exams and there being another person in the house.
An outsider.
Yeah.
I know it has to be so hard to finally have your brother home for the first time in a year, 10 months, and then not really be able to have him to yourself.
Well, he's not mine to have. I keep telling myself that. So when's the last time you heard from Walter?
Oh, a Wednesday. He seemed to hint that his regiment was moved to a different island, but, of course he couldn't specify.
Now that is hard. Having your young man fighting overseas and not even knowing where he's at.
Yeah. Could I have one more pin?
Oh, sure.
Hey, Alice, where do you want the game supplies?
Oh, Mary Jane, you can just set them here for now till I figure out where we're going to set them up. Thanks so much for bringing them.
Oh, yeah, sure thing. Is there anything else I can help prepare?
I don't think so. Priscilla and Jean are doing most of the food, and Eve volunteered to help me set up, so I think we should be good. Thanks so much.
Too bad. I was hoping for an excuse to get out of studying this morning. Oh, my Greco-Roman final is gonna kill me.
Well, Eve could help you with that.
Oh, no, you'll do just fine. You always worry about exams, and then you ace them.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. See you girls this afternoon.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Between ourselves, I've never really thought of Mary Jane having the very best study habits, but she sure does perform under pressure.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair.
No.
Well, I think these are looking rather nice. What do you think? Should we put these up or not?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't know if a graduation-themed picnic was the right occasion for flags.
It's always the right occasion for flags. And picnics are somehow patriotic by nature, aren't they? You know, 4th of July, all that.
Well, maybe wartime picnics. Oh, hey, Sam!
Need some help?
Oh, are you offering?
Well, we couldn't think of anything more interesting to do.
Wow, you are too sweet. Why are you friends with him again?
Oh, well, he needs someone to keep him in line.
That's for sure. Good to see you, Gus.
You too.
How are you, Eve?
Oh, very well, thanks. Hope you are too.
Fit as a fiddle. This is my pal Gus from training camp.
Okay.
Gus Monroe, one of Alice's good friends, Eve Westcott.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oh, you too. So, you're staying with the Flemings?
Oh, no, actually, my parents just live in Jonesboro, so I'm there.
Yes, I'm sorry, Eve. I was unclear. Sam has 2 friends on leave with him, and it's the other one, Kinney, who's staying with us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Kenny's from Oklahoma, but he doesn't have much family there, so we convinced him to come with us on furlough. But Gus here, he's local.
Oh, so you knew each other before training camp?
No, that's the crazy thing. We just met the first week. Found out I was from Hudson, he was from Jonesboro, and then we had to be friends.
Yeah, we figure we must have crossed paths at some point. I mean, I've probably met you all, or at least seen you at some point.
Oh, did you go to Hudson High School?
Only for a year. That would have been 1935, 36. I had to quit to help on the family farm.
Well, Alice and I started in the fall of 36, so we must have just missed you.
Yeah, so much connects the two towns, though. I mean, county fairs, revivals. I'm sure we were all at some function or another at the same time.
Well, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it sure has been nice to have a buddy in my unit who knows about home.
Oh, and more importantly, who knows about the Blackman apple cider donuts?
I miss those donuts so much.
Yep. You only understand the loss if you've tried them.
True.
I mean, when we heard about Blackman's closing down...
Oh, did I tell you? You wrote to me about it, and the same day, Gus's mom told him in a letter, too.
Well, it was a community crisis.
Exactly. We were so devastated. I mean, we tried to explain to Kenny about it, but he just laughed at us.
I'm sorry.
Well, they must not have apple cider donuts in Oklahoma.
I don't think they have much of anything in Oklahoma.
So is Kenny back at the house?
No, he walked into Hudson to make a telephone call.
Okay.
He said he'd meet us here soon.
Okay. Well, you guys are here to help, right?
Absolutely. Put us to work.
Okay. You guys can set up the games. I'm not sure what all Mary Jane brought. Looks like some sack toss and croquet and, is everything all right?
Sorry. We should probably tell you why Kenny is telephoning his dad.
His dad, I didn't think... Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's the news we've been waiting for. We all got letters this morning, and our division is being deployed.
How soon?
Next week.
We're supposed to go by train to Boston on Thursday, and then we'll board a troop ship there.
Europe, then.
Seems like it.
Italy, or... I guess if you did know, you couldn't tell us.
No.
So, you've had your orders. Do Mom and Dad know yet?
Yeah, I told them. Let's not talk about it anymore right now. I don't want to spoil our time or your picnic.
And besides, we have nearly a week left. We
Yeah.
can make each day really count.
Am I in the right place?
Kenny, there you are.
Ah, howdy boys and girls. Morning, Alice. And
Oh, Eve.
Eve, a pleasure.
Did your telephone call go through?
It took a few minutes, but yes. Do the girls know yet?
We told them.
Good, good. It's exciting, isn't it?
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
What do you mean? I mean, it's the only way. What's not to be excited about? We'll be off across the ocean, new places, new people, and doing our part to beat the Germans.
Well, your perspective may change once you get on the battlefield.
And how would you know? You're at least as green as I am, and your dad's not a war vet like mine.
Well, I think my young man Walter would agree with Gus. He's in the Pacific.
Oh. Well, look, here's the deal. I know it's dangerous, and I know this is serious, and I'm probably just too excited. But I've had it with training, so any change is an improvement. Besides, this world needs more optimists, right?
Well, that's a theory.
Okay, who can help me set up this blank banner?
Oh, where would you like it?
Just between these two tables would be great.
All right.
The drinks will be on here, so most people kind of start there.
So, what's all this for?
It's a picnic.
Well, yes, but, what for?
For the graduating class, Alice helps run the activities board, so she has the responsibility for all these things.
Ah, impressive. So, what year are you?
Well, we're both seniors. Do you think you could take these blankets and put them by that tree over there?
The big one?
No, beyond it. The willow?
Oh. Well, sure. Sure. So, Alice, what's your major?
English.
Swell.
Thank you so much for moving the blankets.
Does that look about right?
Yeah, that's great.
So, did you really need that crate moved?
No.
Sorry about Kenny.
So, what else can we do to help?
Oh, you guys are great to help us. You guys can probably set up the games now. They might need a bit of organizing first, though.
Okay, sure, we can handle that.
So, besides these games, what else do you have planned, Alice?
Oh, just a few silly things. Tug of war, three-legged race, and Dr. Lambert will give his speech. And then, of course, we'll eat lots of food, including that ice cream you tested for me this morning.
Oh, that was heaven. We get to come this afternoon, right?
Oh, of course. You're certainly earning it this morning.
Oh, there's also going to be a poetry recitation contest.
Right.
What's this?
Well, several of us in the senior class are poetry enthusiasts. So, back in January, I thought it would be a brilliant idea to organize a poetry competition for this event.
It is a brilliant idea.
Well, then I decided to try and memorize a 280-line poem, and I'm thinking I overreached.
Well, that is certainly ambitious. Who's it by?
Hopkins. It's called The Wreck of the Deutschland.
Well, it's a popular title in 1944. Can't go wrong with the Deutschland being destroyed.
Well, I mean, in context, it's a ship and not the country itself.
What's going on?
We were just talking about a poem.
Oh.
Kenny, do you want to help us with these games? We've nearly got them sorted out now and could use help setting them up.
Well,
You can hold these.
so, Alice, I was meaning to ask, do you have any plans after you graduate?
Yes, I'll be teaching.
Ah, swell. And
So, where do you want these games set up?
How about the clearing over there?
Oh, sure. Kenny and I can handle this if you could use Sam's help here.
Oh, could you?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I could stay and help the girls.
We should be fine with Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Great. See y'all later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gus. Gus is a trooper.
He's very kind.
So what next?
Well, I think we can probably lay out the blankets now. Where did they go?
Oh, I made Kenny move them all the way to the willow tree.
It was a smart move at the time.
yeah.
I'll grab them.
Oh, no, it was my fault. I can get them. You two should stay together.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think that's about all for now. The food will be the main project next.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
Oh, say, I almost forgot. I checked the mail this morning. There was this for you. Looks all official.
No idea. I'll read it later.
That does remind me, though. I've been meaning to ask you something. You know, I've told you how much it means to get your letters and Mom and Dad's at camp.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about Kenny. Because no one writes to him.
Oh, I am not writing letters to Kitty.
No. I'm not asking you to. I know that could give him the wrong
He already
idea.
has the wrong idea.
Calm down. I'm not asking you to write him. I'm just wondering if somebody could write him.
Who do you have in mind?
No one. That's the problem.
He really never hears from anyone?
Well, he doesn't have any siblings. His mom left him and his dad ages ago.
Well, I mean, doesn't his dad write him?
He did. Only twice that I know of. Early on in training. But the first letter Kenny opened, and then he trashed it. And the second one he threw away without even reading. And I've never seen another letter come for him since.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have to come from family, right? I mean, all the old ladies in Hudson are writing letters and sending cookies to any and every boy they've ever met that's serving. I mean, couldn't someone from his hometown
Alice, he chose to come here on leave. Instead of home. After 10 months away. He has no ties there.
Poor guy.
I try to imagine what it'll be like once we're in combat. And Gus and I, we both have roots, but Kenny, I don't know how he'll cope.
So, you think he needs something to connect to?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Gus and I are trying, but I don't know how much we can do.
He must have a pretty sour relationship with his dad.
Beats me. I know you don't like Kenny, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan either. I mean, he's friendly enough at first.
Too friendly.
Well, you hang around him long enough, and you learn he has more sides than you realized at first. And I know he'd never in 100 years say it, but every time Gus and I hear from home, it's like salt in a wound to Kenny.
Everything you never had?
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Mom and Dad wouldn't mind writing them. And I can ask, around here among my friends if I think he just needs to hear from someone his own age. I'm sure one of the guys wouldn't mind being a pen pal with him.
That would be great. And maybe you could get the ladies at church to send him cookies.
Oh, well, I can try.
Hey, you two gonna help me spread out these blankets?
Oh, yes. You go on ahead. I'm gonna grab some rocks for the blanket corners.
In case it gets windy.
Uh-huh.
I've got a smart sister.
You better believe it. I taught you everything you know.
Letter dated May 4th, 1944. To Miss Alice Fleming. Let me directly impress upon you that the contents of this letter are strictly confidential. Nothing you read here may be repeated in whole or in part to anyone, not teachers, colleagues, friends, or family. The absolute secrecy of this communication is vital, and indeed, lives depend upon it. As our nation, with its allies, continues to oppose the Axis powers in the East and West, the need for more fighting men on every front persists. Our brave husbands, sons, and fathers, however, cannot meet that need unless others take their places on the home front, not only in the workforce, but in war jobs as well. Thousands of our fine engineers, machinists, drivers, radio operators, and more have heeded the call of duty to join our nation's armed forces, but thousands more could join if others will step up to take their places at home. We believe women are up to that task. Already hundreds of women across the country have heard the summons, taken war jobs, and freed men to help fight the enemy overseas. But we need more to come forward. I write to you, Miss Fleming, to tell you of a unique war job for which few young women are qualified. It is highly confidential work in communications, closely tied to the fighting front, and of the utmost importance in this war. The work requires women of intelligence and discipline, women with intuition and attention to detail, women of integrity and discretion. Your dean at Hudson Christian College informs me that you are such a woman. In writing, I cannot disclose the exact nature of the position I am offering, so I have arranged with your dean a meeting place on your college campus. On Friday, May 12th, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I will be in the Ackerman Reading Room in your college library. Meet me there if you wish to learn more about this confidential work for which you would receive training in the weeks to come. If you choose to decline my invitation, you must destroy this letter, never mention it, and endeavor to forget it. I trust I will see you at the appointed place and time. Your country needs you, and I have confidence you will not be deaf to its summons. Signed, Lieutenant Florence Cole of the United States Army Signal Corps.
Eve, Alice, are you in this room for a particular purpose? Yes, 4 o'clock. I'm supposed to be here. Something arranged by Dean Aldridge? Yes. A confidential meeting. Huh? I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I think we're here for the same reason? I think we are.
Oh, I cannot tell you how glad I am that you're here too.
I've been so nervous sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
I came at 3:15 like an idiot.
So, you haven't met anyone yet?
No.
So, what do you think? Are we even allowed to talk about it with each other?
I don't know.
All week I've been so terrified that I'm going to let something slip.
Yes.
Especially with Sam here.
Mm-hmm. Did he catch his train, by the way?
Yeah, they got off fine yesterday morning.
Good.
Did I tell you that before they left, Gus asked if he could write me?
Did he now? Yeah. I thought something was going along in that quarter.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
No, we're just supposed to be here for a 4 o'clock meeting.
Yeah. Oh, great. That's what I'm here for, too.
You got the same summons as we did?
I guess so. I think the lieutenant or whoever she is must be right behind me. Yeah, I saw a woman in a uniform at the front desk and just managed to slip by with.
You're here early. That's good. No need to stand. Please. So, who's who?
I'm Mary Jane Kruger.
History?
That's right.
I'm Alice Fleming.
English literature?
And I'm Eve Westcott.
Biblical languages.
Yes.
I take it for granted that you all have obeyed my instructions about secrecy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah,
no
we had no idea. We all got your letter until we found each other right here.
That's the way it should be. And you must only be more careful after today. Nothing said in this room can leave it. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Well, I have two initial questions for you. First, do you all enjoy crossword puzzles?
I do.
Yes. When I have the time, yes.
And secondly, are any of you engaged to be married?
Not me.
No. No.
You hesitated.
Oh, well, she's not engaged yet. He's in the Marines. Well, we just want to wait till all of this is over.
You want to help bring him home?
Of course.
And do you all have the desire to serve your country?
Yes, though I think there are many ways to do that.
And I like knowing what I'm getting into before I get into it.
Quite right. Unfortunately, many things in life you cannot know from the outside. But I will tell you what I can. Have you ever heard of cryptanalysis?
No, I don't think so. What is it?
Well, what does the language expert say?
Oh, well, crypt is a vault, and analysis obviously is the close study of something.
The study of vaults?
Tell us the etymology.
Oh, okay. Cryptanalysis. Kryptos in Greek means something hidden, and analusis means to unloosen, to unravel.
Yes, the word itself is enigmatic and tries to keep its secrets hidden. Cryptanalysis is the art of breaking ciphers and codes, unraveling enemy communication. It is painstaking work, but we believe it is helping to turn the tide of this war.
Code breaking?
Code breaking. The Axis powers use many different encrypting systems, but we have teams working on just about all of them. We've already broken several high-level Japanese systems, and we've helped British cryptanalysts break German ciphers as well. But breakthroughs don't end our work, they only begin it. That's where you girls come in.
I already feel completely over my head.
Well, cryptanalysis is not about genius, it's about persistence and teamwork. We now know how many enemy ciphers work, but most systems change their specific settings on a daily basis. So every day, our cryptanalysts must decipher what the new settings are. Once that's achieved, we must translate each message and then organize all this information in a useful way.
How many messages do you deal with in a typical day?
Thousands, usually. So you see why the operation requires an army of coordinated workers. Code breakers, translators, traffic analysts, typists, and on and on.
So where would we fit in?
Somewhere. You will receive probably 4 weeks of training, and then we will decide what team to put you on.
What would training look like?
Oh, many things. We will teach you the terminology and history of codes and ciphers and techniques of decrypting. It's a blend of mathematical and linguistic analysis, so if you like, you can think of an encrypted message as an equation or as a poem. You'll also receive instruction in language and geography and the workings of Axis militaries. Do any of you know German?
Oh, I took 2 years in high school. I don't. I studied Latin before I taught myself a little French before getting into Greek and Hebrew.
Yeah, I studied some Latin, but that's all.
Well, we can teach you the German you need, or we might put you on Japanese or something else.
So where and when would all this take place?
Yes, our headquarters is at Arlington Hall, just outside Washington, D.C. We have women's dormitories, cafeteria, laundry, everything. The starting pay is $1,600 a year, and if all goes well, the job is yours for the duration of the war, however long that may be.
When would we be expected to start?
As soon as possible. Could you wrap up your things here within a week?
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
I mean, graduation is Sunday.
Yeah. Right.
so-
Yeah, perfect. Then you'll be free. Any more questions?
I'm still wondering why you're offering this to us. I mean, we have no experience, no anything.
I told you, I am looking for intelligent and trustworthy women. And unmarried because the work must be your top priority. I simply asked your Dean of Women whom she would recommend, and she gave me your names.
But of all places, why would you approach a tiny little Christian college like Hudson?
Well, lest you get big heads, know that we have already squeezed larger colleges dry. The war has been on for several years, after all, and we did not come here first. But I like recruiting at Christian colleges because you tend to find girls of a particular caliber there.
Thank you.
If you have no more questions, I really should be going. I believe I've told you about all I can at this point, since you've not even committed to the job yet.
How long do we have to decide?
If possible, I would like a decision within a week. You could take the train to Washington next weekend and then start training the following Monday.
Well, I have to teach this fall.
In Hudson? I can get you out of that. We need them. We need you more than they do, frankly. You girls can't possibly understand it yet, but Allied cryptanalysis is already overturning whole battles in our favor. It's sinking enemy ships and submarines, and thousands of our fighting men are still alive today because of the work women like you are doing. So please take my offer very seriously. And remember, not a word to parents, siblings.
What do we tell them if we take the job?
Well, you can say you are working for the Army Signal Corps in Washington. And if you're pressed about the nature of the work, just say it's in communications. Many people think our girls are secretaries, and that's the way we like it.
I wish I could get my parents' thoughts on all of this.
No, not an option, I'm afraid, except in the most general terms. You three may discuss it together with great caution in private, but I'm afraid that's all. Any other questions? There is a contract for each of you in your envelopes. Simply bring those with you to Washington if you accept. I hope to see you at Arlington Hall.
Oh, thank you, ma'am, Lieutenant.
Wow.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
What do you guys think?
Oh, well, I'm in.
I don't know. It sounds thrilling, but
Yeah.
intimidating.
Exactly. And I mean, I would love to help with the war effort in such an important way, but to just uproot from home just like that?
Yeah, something tells me DC is not our kind of place.
Oh, I think it'll be swell. I mean, haven't you ever wanted to visit a place like Washington?
Well, sure, visit, but to live there?
Oh, well, for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I think it would be almost unpatriotic to refuse to go when we're needed.
Well, maybe you're right.
Oh, I definitely am. Oh, anyway, I had my last exam today and haven't celebrated yet, so I have lots of relaxing to do. I'll see you girls on Sunday for the ceremony.
Oh, yay! Congrats!
Yeah, you too. We'll actually have our BAs.
Wow. Whoever thought we'd be here? About to graduate college.
And now being asked to work in well, I guess I should get in the habit of being euphemistic. Now being invited to work in communications.
Yeah. But should we? I mean, I've been so looking forward to teaching.
Could this somehow be our duty? Now that we've been called, you could say?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I don't want to leave Hudson, and I'm not sure I'm cut out for this code-breaking business.
My mind goes to Walter and Sam. They probably don't feel cut out to be soldiers, but they've dropped their plans. They've left home behind in order to protect what they care about.
Yeah, I guess it is better to leave what you love than to lose it.
Well, let's pray on it.
Yeah.
Talk to our parents, tell them what we can.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have wisdom.
Yeah, and if we do decide to go, I mean, we have each other, which is something.
That is quite a lot.
June 8th, 1944. Hello, Alice. Greetings and salutations from across the pond. I'm safe and sound, but your last letter knocked my socks off. What a shocker to hear you and Eve both packed your bags and left Hudson. Well, well, Washington, D.C. That'll be a change from home. Wish you could tell me about this job you got. It all sounds very mysterious in your letter. Hope you've settled in and enjoy it anyway. I'm trying to think of what I can tell you that the censors won't cut out. I'm sure you've heard on the radio all about the Normandy invasion. Half of me wishes I'd been there, in the front, on the beaches, but the other half of me is glad to still be in the old mother country. I don't know when our division will enter combat. Could be a few weeks yet. For now, it's more training. You'll just have to keep your ears perked for any news of the 28th Infantry. It's been busy here, sunny today, and lots to do. I think we're all feeling on edge. Gus is well, but I bet you know that. I think I told you, we both got awfully seasick on the voyage over. Kenny wasn't very nurturing. I don't know how a landlocked Oklahoma kid got so lucky as to be impervious to the rise and fall of ocean waves. Makes me feel green just to think about that motion. Come to think of it, it also makes me feel rather proud to have just used the word impervious. I hope you're impressed. Well, I don't know what else to say this time, so write soon and tell me all about yourself, where you're staying and who you're meeting and everything. Or will I have to refer to Gus for info about you now, I suppose you can't give my love to Mom and Dad if you're in Washington, so you can keep it all for yourself this time. I'll say goodbye for now, or cheers, as they say here for just about everything. I've heard lots of new words from the Brits and the other GIs. A few I like and try to learn, and plenty I try to forget I ever heard. Don't worry about me, Gus and I stick together. Write again soon, and take care of yourself. As ever, Sam.
Good morning, Phoebe.
Daylight's burning.
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot my badge at home and had to run back for it.
You remember the new girls are coming today?
Oh, yes, I'm so glad. Maybe we'll finally be able to make some headway.
If they know what they're doing.
Well, of course, we'll have to show them some things, but I'm sure they'll catch on fast.
We'll hope so.
Do you know when they'll be here?
Well, I expected them before now. I certainly hope we're not getting saddled with 3 idlers.
What did the night shift leave for us?
Oh, not much. They theorized partial boxes for the 3rd period, but they didn't have many long intercepts to work with.
Too bad.
Oh, we might be able to use some of this. Wait and see. Come in.
Hello, ladies.
Oh, Lieutenant Cole.
I hope you're both doing well today.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Today is an exciting day. I have brought your new team members. This is Miss Alice Fleming, Mary Jane Kruger, and Eve Westcott.
Nice to meet you all.
I already took them upstairs to meet your translating team and the traffic analysts, which is why we are not late, but not early.
Understood.
Allow me to introduce cryptanalyst Rose Delaney and Phoebe Nicholson, who will be your team leader. These ladies have been with the Signal Corps quite a bit longer than you 3, but frankly, none of us has much experience with the 2-box cipher, which is this team's project. I put Rose and Phoebe on the cipher several weeks ago to start getting a feel for it, but I hear it's proving quite a tough nut to crack.
Possible, though, with patience.
That's the spirit. Could one of you two give us a bit of background on the cipher? For security reasons, obviously, the girls have been told very little so far.
Yes, ma'am. Rose would be better at that. Go ahead.
All right. Well, the 2-box is a German field cipher used in communication between military units in combat. And its security ranks slightly lower than the Enigma machine, which I imagine you've all heard about.
Yes.
But the 2-box is done completely by hand, which makes it much more practical for army groups on the move. The British actually discovered how this works, and it is only now that the American troops are in France, it has become a new priority for us to stay on top of.
Which is why this team was formed.
As you can imagine, communications between German combat units can provide us with a great deal of helpful information on their positions and plans.
So have you all learned about the Playfair cipher?
Oh, yes.
And the double Playfair?
Yes.
Well, the 2-box is essentially a twist on the double Playfair.
A fiendish twist, making it exponentially more difficult to crack.
But fear not. I think between my seasoned code breakers and my enthusiastic beginners, much can be accomplished.
As long as we can mesh as a team.
Well, that is up to you all, isn't it? I will allow you all to introduce yourselves more properly and discuss how the cipher actually works, and I will plan to check back in again later to see how everyone is settling in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Well, like she said, I'm Alice. And did I get it right? You're Rose and Phoebe?
Yes.
That's right.
And Eve and Mary Jane, right?
Yes. Yes, it's great to meet you.
I'm sure we'll all get along well.
Now, we shouldn't take long, but it would be good to know a bit more about each other. Rose, why don't you tell something about yourself?
Well, I'm from Ohio, and I actually have a degree in home economics, but then I taught grade school for about 2 years before the Army recruited me in '42.
Oh, well, we three live in Indiana, so I guess we come from the same general region.
Yeah, and we just graduated from Hudson Christian College. It's a tiny little place.
Yes, and we're all humanities people. I'm English, and she's history and languages.
Well, Phoebe is the local scientist.
Yes, I studied physics and astronomy. I came here in 1941.
So I'm sure you've all have discovered by now what a wide range of backgrounds and education that you'll find here. Arlington Hall takes all kinds.
Yes, we've been learning that.
So have you two worked together a lot?
I've always worked with Phoebe, yes. Though, of course, this project is new to us. We were both on the Enigma before, but that operation is well in hand now.
So I think I understood there are 2 cryptanalysis teams on the 2-box cipher.
Yes, there are 2 shifts. The evening shift takes over at 6 p.m., which is midnight in Germany. So they essentially take on the first half of the German day.
Which is significant in part because the settings on the 2-box cipher change at the beginning of each day and then every 3 hours after that. We'll explain it all. Phoebe?
Yes, we'll get right to it. You go ahead and start explaining. I'm going to draw some boxes.
Okay. You girls might want to sit.
Okay, thank you.
So, you girls have been training for a month?
Yes, 4 weeks.
Well, they threw you in the deep end.
But we'll help you. I'm sure you must have shown a lot of promise during training, otherwise they would not have put you on this assignment.
Not sure if that's encouraging or frightening.
Encouraging,
It
I
should be
hope.
frightening.
Are you sure you two work well together?
Well, maybe we make a strange team, but we balance each other.
Are you going to explain the cipher?
Yes, right now.
Okay.
So, even though we know how the 2-box cipher works, it is still a beast. Since the key changes every day, we have to constantly decrypt the new settings.
But it's similar to the double Playfair.
In theory, the Playfair is a substitution cipher, right?
Yes, by graphic.
Exactly. Instead of taking one letter at a time, it takes the letters in pairs and then substitute them. Now, one difference from the Playfair is that the Germans use boxes that are totally scrambled. No keyword, no pattern, just 25 letters in random order.
Which letter is left out?
Oh, they merge J with I.
But there is one more thing, and this is what tends to throw a wrench in the gears. Not only is the 2-box a substitution cipher, it is also a transposition cipher.
Oh.
So the Germans restructure the message before they encrypt it, so that instead of taking bigrams that are side by side, they make bigrams by pairing letters that are actually 21 characters apart from each other.
Oh, wow. This is getting so good.
It's diabolical.
So you can't use typical bigram frequency counts because the letters are paired in unreal ways.
That's right.
Oh, this is going to be such a fun challenge.
Yes. In a way it is. Excitement is good when it motivates you. But we have to be on the same page from day one. You girls have to understand that our work is serious. It is a matter of life or death.
Is that a little dramatic?
No. You may have been recruited because you're good at crosswords. But you're not here just to solve puzzles to satisfy your own intellectual curiosities. Our work, it is far bigger than any of us. And we can never forget that. All right, Rose, please continue explaining.
Okay. So the bigram substitutions mostly follow Playfair rules. We have liners and diagonals. Now with liners, the Germans substitute the letters immediately to the left.
July 16th, 1944. Dear Sam, from what you've said, I'm guessing this letter may be the last one you get from me before you enter combat. I hope it arrives on time. Don't worry if you can't write back for a while. I think of you every day and pray for you. Today has been a slow one at work. I feel I'm starting to get the hang of things, but it's still grueling. Someday I will be able to tell you all about it, I hope. Of course, it's lovely to work with Eve. It almost feels like we're still in college. And the other girls are nice, too. I've told you about Rose. She's a darling. Mary Jane is the same as always, and she's really proved to be a natural at what we're doing. I think she gets bogged down some days when things feel especially tedious, but she's learning how to keep on top of it. Our boss, Phoebe, hasn't thawed much. I'm not sure I understand her. She's dedicated to her job, I know, but she does seem rather severe at times. Washington is just beautiful this time of year, though I hear it's even better in the spring when the trees are in full bloom. Eve and Mary Jane and I have made it down to the beach twice since we arrived, and we loved seeing the ocean. I think I would have gotten seasick right along with you and Gus, though, if I had to sail across it. I enjoy hearing about England. I'm sorry you don't care much for the food, but I love hearing the little British phrases you've learned and the funny things you observe. Tell me more about the houses and gardens if you get the chance. The countryside sounds beautiful. Of course, if you're in action soon, you'll be leaving the UK, so tell me about France or wherever they move you to. I'm interested in all of it. But most importantly, stay safe and think of home often and know that we're thinking of you. Much love, Alice.
We starting to line up yet?
No, another delay. I wish we would just get on with it.
Are you excited?
I don't know. Maybe. Just seems like a massive waste of time. A victory parade, when victory isn't even ours yet.
Well, it's for the French people. They need to celebrate that Paris is theirs again. Finally. I think it'll be good for our morale, too, after a month of hard fighting.
I think it'll be jarring. I mean, we're into combat now, and we're finally learning how to work together as a team, and then we cheat ourselves into thinking we've already won. I'd rather just get on with the job.
Well, I see what you mean, but I don't think anyone's trying to make us believe that we've already won the war. I mean, we are literally parading through Paris so we can fight the Germans on the other side.
Yeah.
Here you boys are.
Gibbs!
I picked up your mail along with mine.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Let me see. 2 letters each today. Fleming.
Thank you.
Monroe.
Thanks, Gibbs.
And Stark. Here's your mail.
Well, 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 Sam, my friend, would you look at this? Looks like I got a letter from your sister. About time. That's a little odd. Why does it say Mrs. Alice Fleming?
Oh, that's my granny. Alice is named after her.
Oh. Well, I don't need some grandma writing to me.
She's sweet. I heard from her too.
Don't care.
Aren't you even going to read it?
Is your other letter more interesting?
No. It's from my dad.
You know, you can't go through your life refusing to listen to people.
I don't have to listen to my dad.
Gibbs, your wife doing well, I hope?
I think so. She says she is.
You've got a Gibbs Jr. due soon, don't you?
Yep, sure do. Just a few more weeks. Sure hate not being there, though.
I bet.
So who do you fellas hear from?
Parents, I think, and I heard from my sister.
What about you, Stark?
Just my dad.
You know, I've never really heard you talk much about your dad. What's he do?
Oh, well. He just works at a filling station.
Didn't he used to farm, too?
Yes. Back when he was my age. But after the first war, he couldn't anymore. Came home with a bad leg.
I'm starting to wonder what we might come home with.
Medals. Hopefully.
Purple hearts, that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, I think I'll be happy just to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sure you will, but what's the point of that?
What do you mean? I kind of thought that was the whole point.
Well, it wouldn't be enough for me. I mean, I would be ashamed to come home and be exactly the same as when I left.
Really? I'd be a bit ashamed to have changed.
Yeah, I've always thought of consistency as a virtue. Semper Fi, to borrow from the Marines, right?
I don't get you guys. Twist my words.
Well, I gotta go report to Sarge, but I wanted to give you fellas the mail first.
Thanks, Gibbs. You're a pal.
No problem. See you fellas around.
See ya.
See ya.
Well, suppose we better go join the platoon, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be getting information before too long.
Oh. What's that?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'll take it. Hey, can you let go?
Well, I see you got a letter from Miss Alice Fleming.
Yes, I did.
Are you corresponding?
I don't think that's any of your business.
And both of you were hiding this from me.
We thought it might be best to avoid the mention of it.
Oh, yes. And you let me think. Some friends you are. I need a cigarette.
No, you don't.
Shut up! You just think you're so much better than everyone else. Idiot.
And that is why we didn't want to tell him.
None of that was about Alice. It's about Kenny. Why do we even try with him?
Because no one else will. Letter dated November 18th, 1944. Dear Alice, I'm sorry I've not written in a while. We've finally been relieved from combat for the time being, after the most hideous few weeks. I think we accomplished nothing, and at a horrible cost. We're a skeleton regiment now. We lost Marshal Travers, who I've told you about, and Shorty Santoro, and Patterson, and so many friends. Sorry, I shouldn't tell you all this. I'm all right. Some scrapes, but nothing more. We've been moved now to a quiet spot on the front, thank God. Reinforcements are slowly trickling in, and we're trying to recoup in the meantime. It's a miracle Gus and Kenny and I are still hanging on together. 5 letters came through yesterday, which considerably brightened things for me. Your last, 2 from Mom, and 1 each from Granny and Aunt Ida. I can almost hear each of your voices when I read the way you phrase things, and there's nothing quite like it. Glad to know you still enjoy your work, but I'm sorry to hear about Eve's cold. Hope she's doing better by now. The weather here is odious. It's been chilly and windy with sleet off and on. Our victory parade through Paris in August seems years away now. I guess that's war. I don't know. Well, Gus will tell you, I hope, but in case he's too modest, I'm gonna spill the beans and report that he just got promoted to private first class. There's some good news. Although every rose has its thorn, Kenny had finally started speaking to him again, but the promotion got him angry and jealous all over, and now he'll hardly look at Gus. Sometimes Kenny's an idiot. Well, I keep trying to be positive, and the negatives keep creeping in. I'm alive and well, and I miss you a boatload. Eat extra helpings on my behalf at Thanksgiving, and keep those letters coming. As ever, Sam. P.S. If you think of it, and you're making up a Christmas package, send me some Powerhouse bars. You're my favorite sister.
Man, this has to be another message about reinforcements. Can that be anything but Versterkuchen?
No, I think you're right.
That's concerning. Yeah. This sudden influx of intercepts is weird, too. It makes me feel like...
Something stirring in the German lines?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Alice, do you have any idea what might fill in this gap?
Oh, wow, you've got whole sentences already.
Oh, well, it's a ton of guesswork, but I can't seem to think...
Lieutenant Cole.
No, you don't have to stand. The messages keep pouring in. I've got dozens more for you here.
Why so many lately?
I thought it was helpful for decrypting.
Well, it is. I can't help but wonder what the reason is for the sudden increase in communications between German units.
Are you suggesting something?
Well, what are the traffic analysts to make of it?
Well, there are various possible causes.
Okay. Well, maybe if we could communicate more between teams, it might help us get a fuller picture of the German plans.
But the more information we share between teams, the greater the security risk. What are you getting at? Something's on your mind.
Well, I thought I've understood that a sudden increase in communications is often a sign of a coming offensive.
A German offensive at this stage? It's unlikely.
Well, but there have been other signs as well. We've been seeing a lot of messages about road and rail movements and strict orders to all units about keeping to an exact timetable.
Which does sound like the Germans are planning something.
Exactly. Yeah, and not only that, but the biggest thing that has caught my attention is the reassignment of troops. There's a clear buildup happening in West Germany.
Well, in Hurtgen Forest.
Not there, south.
Well, look, I'm not exactly privy to the opinions of the High Command, German or American. But I can tell you that a German offensive is extremely improbable at this point. The troop buildup you're seeing is almost certainly defensive.
But they're pulling troops from Italy and from the Russian front. And they're amassing them in the quietest part of the Western Front, where our troops are the weakest. How could that not be offensive?
I hear your concern. I know that you care deeply about what's happening, and I will do what I can to put in a word with my superiors about this. But understand that you only see part of the picture.
Of course, we're the ones reading what the Germans are actually saying to each other.
Do not let speculation distract you from your job. This team does excellent work decrypting, but then it's up to others to evaluate the information and choose what to do about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep up the good work.
Are you worried about your brother? Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh, I
Alice.
forgot.
No, that's all right. I'm just trying to hypothesize what word or phrase might fit here in this sentence.
Maybe Luft something?
Right, but I don't think it can be Luftwaffe. You have a wider German vocabulary than I do.
Is it Luftschlag?
No, it's longer than that.
Luftaufklärung? Would that fit with the bigrams you've surmised?
I'll find out.
Luftaufklärung? Aerial reconnaissance? Interesting if ground troops are discussing Air Force movements.
It works!
Well done.
Oh, well, thanks to Alice.
Oh, no. Eve has like Mary Jane has like a sixth sense for this stuff. How did you even conjecture a message this long?
Well, I mean, the first word pretty much had to be Erbita, and then, I don't know, it just seemed to fall into place.
Well, we all know it's not that simple.
Now, if we're right, this unit is being told they'll receive more intelligence soon, because reconnaissance is now a top priority.
Reconnaissance. Where specifically?
We'd have to plug in these coordinates.
I think that's in the Ardennes region, but I'll check.
That sounds like offensive preparation, doesn't it?
Not necessarily.
But, I mean, all of these signs add up to something.
Yeah.
Each one on their own, I mean, could be harmless, but you put them together and the picture you get is a coming attack.
Well, if so, the U.S. commanders will do what needs to be done.
This has been building up for weeks, and I've not heard of any measures being taken on our side. You know, we're not securing our line where it's the weakest, and we're not...
We've got to do our job and trust those higher up to take care of the rest. We cannot control the outcomes, only the input.
But this is serious. You say all the time that this job is a matter of life and death, and this time it could be my brother's life in the balance.
Alice, you've expressed your concern to Lieutenant Cole already. That is all you can do.
I could warn Sam.
Absolutely not.
Phoebe,
He's told me he's at a quiet spot on the front. So he's bound to be somewhere where German troops are collecting. If I could just tell him that they're assembling a force,
Alice, no.
and then he can tell his commanding
No!
officer.
If he has even the slightest idea that you have access to this kind of information, well, our team's whole mission would be jeopardized.
But, I mean, what's the likelihood?
Alice, if your brother were ever killed or captured, do you know the first thing that would happen? They would go through his clothes and belongings. If he has your letter and you've let anything slip that we know through secret intelligence, well, the Germans will realize that we've broken their cipher. They will drop this system and start using a new one. Do you know how long it takes to actually break a cipher system? Years. And hundreds or thousands of men that we could have saved, they will be lost in the interim. That is how crucial our security is.
I mean, could I vaguely tell him, just that I have a foreboding that the enemy might be up to something?
I would not. But I can't control you, and I don't want to. Alice, I do understand how desperately you want to protect your brother. But he is not the only young man that we are here to protect. Okay, let's get back to work.
December 4th, 1944. Dear Sam, I'm so glad to hear you have a rest from combat right now, and I hope that at least lasts through Christmas for you. You shouldn't have to fight for so many weeks on end. Thanks for telling me about Gus's promotion, too. I'm so proud of you both. I have something important to tell you, which you may think is silly, but please don't. I just have the most awful feeling that the Germans are about to attack you. No, it didn't come to me in a dream or any nonsense. But I have a strong foreboding, and I wish you'd say something to your officers. I suppose there's not much you can tell them other than, my sister has a hunch. But please do take me seriously. I know you always say not to worry, but I can't help it. We had our first snowfall last night, about 2 inches. I wish I could take away all the bad weather from you and bring it here, but I suppose at least we can share the winter temps. Also, if it makes you feel any better, I wasn't able to go home for Thanksgiving either. Eve and I both had to stay in D.C. and work, but we were thinking of you and Gus and Walter and Kenny. We were just thankful you're all still safe. Hopefully next year we all can have Thanksgiving together. Remember what I said? Maybe it's women's intuition, but just take me seriously. I know you're careful and you boys watch out for each other. I'll write again soon. Love, always, and prayers, Alice.
I hate this weather. At least we're not fighting in it. You're up early. Couldn't sleep. Dreams. Sam, do you ever get the feeling like it's too late? For what? I don't know. Just for everything. Like you missed your chance. Or you never even had a chance. That's the war talking, Kenny. It gets in our heads. Do you think that they'll put us back into combat soon? I hope not. I wish they would. Are you okay? We are useless here, and I hate being useless. Well, it's better than killing and being killed. Well, that's what we came to do. No. We came to defend our homes and families. Not all of us have homes and families worth defending.
Kenny, where you going?
Somewhere else.
Kenny, come on.
He needs help.
He won't take it.
I don't understand the way he thinks.
Do you remember in France when we were marching through Paris and Kenny got mad at me for writing Alice?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember he'd gotten a letter and he threw it on the ground when he was mad at me?
Yeah, now you mention it.
Well, he doesn't know this, but I picked that letter up and I kept it for a real long time without opening it. But when he blew up at me again for my promotion, I gave up and I read it.
And?
It's something else. It's awful. I don't even think you want to read it.
Is it that bad?
Yeah. More than that, you're on Kenny's good side. You certainly wouldn't stay there if he knew you had read his dad's letter.
True. Better if one of us is innocent.
I can't imagine saying to your son the things this guy says. I mean, actually going to the trouble of writing him a letter just to abuse him? It's messed up.
Boy, poor Kenny. No wonder he doesn't want to hear from him.
His dad uses fouler language than I've heard from any GI.
Really? Odd that Kenny doesn't talk like that.
He used to. Remember? Back in training camp? Oh. Before we started putting the pressure on him and he kind of cleaned up his act.
Oh, wow. You're right. Man, that seems decades ago.
It was really strange reading this letter. I mean, most of it felt very foreign, you know, but there were lines here and there that reminded me of Kenny when he's really mad.
That's not good. Do you think he's going to slowly turn into his dad?
I think he hates his dad. And I think he could become his dad at the same time.
Is there anything we can do?
Well, there's nothing he'll take from me. If one of us can help him, it's you. I don't know, though. There's something terribly strong here we're up against.
Jerry's not the only enemy, huh?
Yeah, I think you're right.
You boys hungry?
Not for sea rations.
Tough luck. Ham, egg, and potato. All in one.
Thanks.
Oatmeal's coming.
Thank you.
Is it just me, or do these woods give you guys the creeps?
It's not just you.
Yeah, the second we crossed over into German territory, my skin started to crawl. Not my vacation spot of choice, but I suppose it's better than combat.
Yeah, a lot better. It is awfully weird, though. Knowing their troops are so close, but nothing happening.
Yeah, especially when you can hear them. All those tanks moving in the distance these past few nights. You gotta wonder what Jerry's up to.
Did Alice tell you what she told me about having a premonition or something?
Yeah, she did. She thinks they're going to attack. I wonder what gave her that idea.
I don't know. But boy, it sent a chill down my spine. Because it's exactly how I've been feeling. Especially when those reconnaissance planes flew over yesterday.
Yeah. I wonder what they were looking for.
I don't know. It's unnerving.
Neither of us wants to eat this, do we?
If we wait long enough, maybe it'll turn into a Christmas turkey.
Oh yeah, then what will the oatmeal turn into, huh?
Gingerbread. Or pie. Ah.
That reminds me. Does Alice bake pies as well as your mom does?
Well, don't tell anyone I said so, but actually Alice's fruit pies are better than Mom's.
Hey, no kidding.
No one can know.
That's close.
Sounds like it's in the direction of the command post.
Where's Sergeant?
I don't know.
You see him anywhere? I don't know. I haven't even seen. It's not good. It's not good.
We should fall back.
Get
down. Kitty, get down. Kitty, get down!
From the Adjutant General J.A. Ulio. Telegram for Mr. Kenneth Stark, Flores, Oklahoma, dated December 22, 1944. The Secretary of War desires me to express his deep regret that your son, Private Kenneth J. Stark, Jr., is reported missing in action since 16th December in Germany. Telegram for Mrs. Grace Monroe, Jonesboro, Indiana, December 22nd. I deeply regret to inform you a report received states your son, Private First Class August L. Monroe, is missing in action since 16th December in Germany. Telegram for Mrs. Edith Fleming, Hudson, Indiana, December 22nd. The Secretary of War wishes me to express his deep regret that your son, Private Samuel T. Fleming, has been reported missing in action since 16th December in Germany. If further details or other information are received, you will be promptly notified.
Just didn't have time to finish.
Right, there are still a few dozen intercepts that need decrypted.
Great. Between all of us, it shouldn't take that long.
Exactly. And I do hope Eve and Dallas get here soon.
I'm going to go ahead and copy down boxes for easier reference.
Good idea. So will I.
Great.
Here they are.
Oh, girls, we finally have some good news. What's wrong?
It's Sam. Or Walter.
It's Sam. Mr. and Mrs. Fleming telephoned last night, and Sam's been reported missing in action.
Oh, Alice. I am so sorry.
And I know what missing in action usually means in the end.
He's in the 28th Infantry, isn't he? They caught the brunt of the attack.
Don't blame yourselves. Either of you. No warning really could have prepared them.
The size and speed of the offensive was worse than anything even we thought.
But they have held the line magnificently. At great cost, I know.
But from what we've been seeing, even in the intercepts, the German advance has met fierce resistance. They're worried. They're being stalled at every point. Bastogne is still holding out. They've not managed to break the line anywhere.
They are not going to win this.
No.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
Oh, Alice, you don't have to work today. I know you thought I'd never say that, but I mean it.
No, I want to. I want to help them.
Okay. And I know it's not likely, but missing soldiers are sometimes found. And maybe we could learn something that could help Sam.
Yeah. And if not him, then somebody else's brother. Because we have a duty to all of them.
Okay, what are we working with today?
We have quite a lot to work with, actually. The girls last night broke the key for the 4th period.
Oh, wonderful.
But they didn't get all the messages decrypted, so we are doing those before anything else.
Here, would you girls like to start with these?
Of course.
Thank you. Good morning, Lieutenant.
Morning. Oh, I'm glad to see everyone's here. You all must have escaped the tainted ham in the cafeteria yesterday.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. We've got dozens of girls reporting sick. But it's not all bad news. I just had a report from the Western Front, and it seems that the fog and foul weather is starting to clear at last, so our planes may finally be able to do some good.
That could help turn the tide.
It could. The Bastion defenders desperately need supplies dropped, and as soon as possible, our bombers will start targeting German supply lines and troops on the move.
Oh, well, we could help with that. We've lined out some troop movements in the intercepts we've decrypted.
Good, good. I will take any messages you have ready, get them translated, and pass them on to headquarters ASAP.
Okay. Do we have any intercepts yet for the new period?
Only a couple. Hardly enough to break the key yet, but more will come in soon.
We will get right to work on these. I'll put Mary Jane on these, and the rest of us will keep decrypting the messages we already have.
Good. Time is of the essence.
What in the world? What is it? I'm sorry, this just seems strange. I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, because, my German is unreliable, but does that say what I think it says?
Well, translation is not exactly your job.
Oh, I'm sure glad it isn't. But, you can't help but notice more or less what's being said as you decrypt. That one, though, I'm not sure what they're talking about.
Alice?
Oh, it's a warning to other units. Several German patrols have disappeared in the forest between... Where are these coordinates? I'll map them. They think there's an American platoon hiding out in the area and fighting as Freischüler?
Irregulars. Using guerrilla tactics.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, it's in Luxembourg.
Do you know what Allied divisions are in that area?
Possibly, but positions have been changing rather rapidly lately.
Well, what do you make of the message?
I'm not sure, but it's definitely information worth passing on, and quickly.
Well, we will keep you updated as we have more decryptions ready.
Great. Thank you so much. You girls make a good team. You know that?
We try to do what needs to be done.
Sam. Sam, behind us. 5 o'clock. Only one? I only see one. Moving our way. He'll pass right by us on the north. Our ammo is low. One shot, I hope. And if there are others, then they'll know we're here. I'll back you up. I'll wait till I'm sure.
Well, I think we've waited long enough.
I've counted past 1,000.
We'll lose the light before long.
Well, I'll go collect what I can. Pray he was carrying rations, huh?
I can go this time.
No, sit down. You stay with Kenny. Just keep a sharp lookout and cover me. Huh?
All right. How do you feel?
Pain. I felt better.
Is the leg worse now than this morning?
The pain's not so sharp after some rest. Did you get any sleep?
A couple hours. Sorry the shot woke you up.
It's okay. My sleep isn't that peaceful anyway.
Battle nightmares?
No.
What?
Not lately.
What then?
My dad. I keep thinking that he might be proud of me if I die here.
You're not going to die here.
How long can our luck hold out, really?
We've lasted this long. We can make it. I'm just sure we're beyond the German front line by now. That patrol was coming behind us from the east.
Even if the Jerrys don't get us, and we don't freeze or starve, my leg's bound to get infected. If it isn't already. Though, I would just prefer to be shot and have it over with.
Don't talk that way. You shouldn't wish for death as if no one cares or depends on you.
You know, the only thing in my dad's life that he was ever proud of was being a war vet. It's what he'd tell strangers, and it's what he'd talk about at home.
Well, then you'll make him proud by being a war vet yourself. You don't have to die.
No. You don't know my dad. I have to do him one better.
That is not how a family is supposed to work.
It's
you don't
how-
one-up each other.
It's how my family works.
Well, it shouldn't. Kenny, I know you hate your dad. But you do not realize that you're becoming just like him. And you've got to stop it.
He's all I've ever known. I didn't grow up in some perfect little family in a perfect little town like you did. I never had a mom. I never had a dad who cared. I never even had a dad who was the same one day to the next. He cussed me out in the morning for something he told me to do the night before. Do you really expect me to have my life together?
I know you won't like me saying this, but I'll say it anyway. The Word of God says the Lord is a father to the fatherless. He makes a home for the lonely. Only rebels dwell in the desert. That's in Psalms, I think.
What are you trying to say?
I think you and Gus and I first became friends because God wanted to give you a home. If you would be our brother, we'd be yours, and you could have our father. Looks like Gus found something.
I don't think he felt a thing. Good. Wasn't carrying much, though.
Better than nothing. Any ammo we could use?
No, I took his combat knife, though, but... No.
Do I hear bombers?
Yeah.
There.
Hey, that's our flying fortress.
Squadron of them. You said this morning when the clouds started to clear up that the Air Force could join the fight today.
Yeah. Now where are they going?
East. What do we say? We're west of the German front line now. That proves it.
Well, they could be targeting supply lines behind the German troops.
Well, all we can do is keep heading west. We have to run into U.S. troops eventually.
Well, we'll certainly hope to. Are you ready for another journey tonight? Is your leg okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you should eat something. Here, you two eat those.
No, we can split them 3 ways.
No, I don't need anything. Kenny's wounded. He needs the most nourishment.
We'll at least take half of this one.
We'll see, okay? Here. Take this. You need it.
Why do you two keep trying to help me?
Because you're worth helping. Here. Please eat this. It's not exactly Christmas Eve dinner, but it'll keep you going. Is today Christmas Eve?
Tomorrow, I think.
Wow. It's hard to keep track. Shh. I saw something move.
I see him.
What's that uniform look like to you?
I don't think it looks German.
He's headed east. That's a good sign, right?
Probably a scout. But he could be going out or coming in.
Sometimes they send spies dressed like us.
Yeah. It does look like a U.S. uniform.
This is weird. Something about his manner seems familiar.
Are you sure?
No, I can't put my finger on it.
I can't make out the face yet.
Gibbs. What? You think that's him?
That's sure who it reminds me of.
Yeah? Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I sure hope we're not seeing that because we want to see it.
Well, the uniform is definitely American.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Sam, I'm gonna motion to him. Have your gun ready, just in case. Gibbs! Peter Gibbs, is that you? Monroe?
Gibbs!
I never thought I'd see you fellas alive. Are you all okay?
I can't believe my eyes. Well, leg wound. And frozen and starving, but we're alive. Where'd you come from?
I'm on patrol. The regiment's only about a mile behind me.
1 mile.
Yeah. So what happened to you guys? I thought for sure we'd lost you in that first attack.
You lost us, all right. Somehow we got separated from the rest. And then before we knew it, we were behind enemy lines.
That must have been grim. That was a week ago.
Well, we've certainly had some skirmishes. Took out quite a few of their stragglers, too. Only 1 or 2 real close calls, and Kenny took it for the team.
Was it just the 3 of you?
Yeah. Yeah, why?
Well, Colonel Nelson got a message today that there were some U.S. troops still putting up a fight in these woods, and so he sent me and the others to go check it out, but we heard it was a whole platoon.
Did we do the work of 20 men?
That's the word on the street.
Well, that feels good.
It should. You boys should get silver stars. But we got to get you back to base first. You need help, Stark?
Yes.
We got you.
Thank you.
Well, looks like you boys have already secured the area, but I'll follow along and cover just in case.
Thanks.
You know, mail didn't come through for a few days, but when it did, letters were just pouring in for the 3 of you.
No kidding.
Yeah. Seemed awful tragic when I thought you'd never read them, but boy, what a thrill your folks at home will get when they hear you're all right.
Letter dated January 6th, 1945. Dear Alice, sorry I couldn't write sooner. Christmas was kinda hectic this year. I don't know what you've heard, but I can tell you we're all gonna be okay. Kenny's leg was hurt pretty bad, but he's laid up in a field hospital and healing nicely, I'm told. The doc said he might come home with a limp, or he could push through it. Anyway, he's gonna have lots of time to think, and that might just be a good thing. I'll let Gus report on himself. He's a champ. I've only had a concussion and frostbite. I was hoping to have some missing toes to show off at home, but the medic said I won't lose even one. Hey, sorry I missed Christmas this year. I'm thinking of that song Bing Crosby sings, I'll Be Home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. Well, that might have been this year, but you know what? I'm spending next Christmas in Hudson, and that's a promise. Write again soon and tell me all your New Year's resolutions, if you haven't already bungled them. I only made 2 this year, and they're pretty simple. Do my bit to help end the war, and then come home. Can't wait to see you. As ever, Sam.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Creator, and unchanging Father, thank you for the chance to share in your creation. You've given us stories, you've used stories, and now we ask that you would use this story tonight to challenge us, to change us into your image. May we think about how you are present with us, how you are loving us and wanting to know us and be known by you. So regardless of what we're facing in the days ahead, may we remember how you came to be with us, and may we serve you always. In your name, amen. You are dismissed.